A rounded, double-sectioned body with 8 upper arm limbs. There was a long prehensile neck on the top, lifting up an ovoid cranium containing 8 eyes and a combination ear-echo sonar organ, providing all-around perception. Their particular sensorium neurology meant they'd evolved past the concept of front and back, and now had the capacity for free-ranging motion. That specific analytic ability gave the controlling sentience some difficulty when it came to developing equivalent thought routines for the 6 Vian body biologics that it was now growing in its onboard molecular initiators. Fortunately, Vian biochemistry was relatively easy to replicate. As it closed to within 1 million kilometers of Vian, the insertion ship discarded the last of its reaction mass as it performed a final deceleration maneuver. Now it was basically just falling toward the southernmost tip of the Farava continent. The lights of nighttime urban citadels sparkled across the continent, linked by the slender blue-green threads of bioluminescent transport rails. Tiny course-correction ejector refined the ship's descent vector, steering it toward the coast, which was still 30 minutes from greeting the dawn. Even if some Vian telescope chanced to find the ship now, it would simply appear to be a small chunk of natural space debris. It hit the upper atmosphere and began to peel apart into 6 pear-shaped segments. The remaining matter broke away in fizzing sparks that produced a short-lived but beautiful starburst display streaking through the mesosphere. Below it, sheltered under the blanket of thick winter cloud, the clan packs of Gomabab, the southernmost urban citadel on Vian, remained oblivious to their interstellar visitor. Each segment continued down, aero-braking with increasing severity as the atmosphere thickened around them. They slowed to subsonic velocity 3 kilometers above the surface, plunging through the clouds. The segments were aimed at a small cove a few kilometers east of the urban citadel, where the gently undulating frost meadows ended in high cliffs atop pebble beaches. 100 meters from the shore, 6 large splash plumes shot up into the air like thick geysers, crowning and splattering down on the slushy ice that bobbed about in the sub-zero salt water. The Nayana metavians floated to the surface. All that now remained of the insertion ship's landing segments were thick layers of active molecule blocks, which covered their mottled blue-green hide like a blanket of translucent gel, insulating them from the cold. They began to swim ashore, an action that the native Vians avoided as much as possible. The beach was a narrow strip of sharp granite rocks, with brown bracken fronds shooting up from the wider cracks. A tall cliff loomed above it, with a narrow V-shaped gorge that offered a slippery pathway up to the frost meadows. The Metavians scrambled a short way up the incline as the pale dawn light began to seep through the murky clouds. Their last protective layer liquidized, draining down into the stones, where it would be flushed away by the next high tide. "We made it," one emitted in a stream of fast whistles, the local clan dialect. "I was concerned about the landing impact," said another, the female of the group. "Fortunately, I am undamaged. These bodies are sturdy." "My skin is puckering," a third said. "The locale's temperature is below optimum." The first one reached into a bag that had been strapped to his upper body and pulled out clothing modelled on commercial imagery that the Vians had broadcast 6 months earlier. "I believe we should cover ourselves as quickly as—" He stopped in alarm. A creature emerged from behind a large boulder at the base of the cliff. In all the years the insertion ship had monitored broadcasts from Vian, no mention had been made of anything like it on the planet. The alien had a bipedal symmetry, with double-segment legs emerging from the base of a flat torso section. A pair of arms with limited articulation protruded from the top on either side of a squat neck that supported a bulbous head, covered in tight, thin-looking ebony skin. Twin eyes gazed down at the Metavians. The creature was more than twice their height, and walked toward them in an alarming motion that was mostly lurches. It was clad in a thick green garment. An arm was extended, with the 5 small manipulator digits at the end curling around a metallic cylinder. An orifice on the creature's head opened, and it produced a low, slow, hooting noise. The cylinder began to talk in Vian. Please don't